Hey, Lab Coat Agents, we are live today with one of the coolest guys I know. I've known him for such a long time, back in the Tech Savvy Agent days. But now, if you guys don't know Tech Savvy Agent, that's a whole other webinar. But now he is the CMO of BombBomb, one of my favorite, not one of my favorite, I don't know of any other video email platform, but my favorite video email platform that I use regularly in my business. And I don't know, Steve, if you looked at my account lately, but it's going kind of nuts. I'm using it every single day. And Steve Passanelli's here, and we're going to talk about a lot of different techniques to use to create better video email and connect more with your customers. And we're also going to talk about Steve's new book that he wrote with Ethan from BombBomb called Rehumanize Your Business. And it's a fantastic book. And you can find the link to the book on Amazon at the top of this post. So definitely do Steve a solid and buy the book. And it's awesome because in just a few short weeks, it's already in its second printing.
Yep.
So huge congratulations to that. That's a major feat. It's so hard to sell a book these days, and you guys are crushing it. So thank you so much for being here, Steve. I'm really excited to have you on the webinar. It's been a long time since we talked, so thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Nick, I was excited to get the invitation and looking forward to our conversation.
Me too, me too. So I want to first start talking about, as I'm reading the book, you know, you make a really good point. And that point is email has been around for so long, and lots of things evolve and technology evolves and just gets better. But for some reason or another, email has really not changed. We're still using it the same way we've been using it since the beginning of email. And why is that? Like, why are people not being more creative and more innovative with how they're sending emails to their clients and their friends and their family? Why do you think that is?
Well, there's two ways to look at it, and there's positives and there's negatives. Who owns email, Nick? Who owns it?
Well, Google mainly owns it.
Through their Gmail platform, but they don't own actual email. And this is the benefit. This is one of the reasons why it hasn't changed, and this is one of the reasons why email will prevail, because no one owns email. Someone
I gotcha.
Facebook Messenger. Someone owns Snapchat. People can change the rules and change the game and make it evolve, or do this or do that, or make you pay to play or not make you pay to play. Email is the last great frontier. It is. We all own email, right? No one is in control. So part of the reason why it hasn't changed, because the technology doesn't quite move as fast, because no one's making money. You can make money from the emails that you send, but no one is making money on the platform of email, right? Okay. So you're not seeing that quite as much, even though we are seeing regulation of email, and we are seeing some things happening here to make email better for everyone. So that's one of the reasons why email isn't going to go away either, because the platform's going to stay. No one's going to push people out or cause people to pay more money to get in front of a list. It's all up to your sweat equity, the money and the work that you put into it. But I think what you were asking was, why hasn't our communication evolved? From the days of acquiring big lists and just spamming the heck out of everybody, and I got your email, I'm just going to put you on this list and email everyone at the same time every month, whether you like it or not, and just shove stuff in front of you. And that's the part that I do see it starting to change now, and the spam laws are starting to come into place. But email in and of itself, someone decided 25 years ago that this is the way we were going to communicate in business. And we're going to relegate our most important communication to the channel devoid of personality and humanity.
Right.
And so now it's like, okay, well, how can we put some humanity back into email? Well, we can do it through video and video communication, allow people to see you, to hear you, to feel you, to feel the energy, that you're bringing, to know how much you believe in your product and or your service, because they can see it in your face and they can hear it in your voice. And so that's what is changing. In my mind, it is changing right now.
Well, no, I think now it is, right? But it took so long for that to evolve and to become, more humanizing. I mean, your book's called Rehumanize Your Business. And so we've had video text messages and, things of that nature. And the text message has sort of changed. But for some reason, the email, and it's also, the amount of email we get every single day. And you talk about that in your book, and there's a lot of great statistics in there, and I can't recall them off the top of my head, but just like the amount of email we get every single day, it has kind of made us, you know, this zombie to our email. Yep. Where people are spending hours and hours a day in front of their screen replying to email. And you mentioned something about emojis in the book that I thought was cool. Like, a lot of people are using emojis, right? Because they think that it adds character and they think that adds feeling to a message, when really you're saying that studies that have been done have shown that it doesn't do any of that. And so I think one of the hardest things for people is, and you know this, it's super hard for people to get in front of the camera. It's super hard for them to know what to say, and they're fumbling over their words, and they're very self-conscious. And so that's another reason why I think email has stayed so boring, for lack of a better term. So I want to talk a little bit more about some ways you think people can just get more comfortable in front of the camera. What are some tactics they can start using?
Yeah, for sure. If someone is nervous and they don't like the way that they sound and they don't like the way that they look, you can tell them that that's the way that you sound and look, and it doesn't get through to them, because we've tried, you know, again and again and again. It's not until they know why they're getting on camera and the result that it can lead to. And the biggest thing to do to overcome that is to really time block and schedule, to identify the reasons on why video is going to benefit your business, because you need to have the end result in mind. You need to have the outcome in mind. Because if you're just doing video because someone said, "Oh, Nick, you need to do video." Okay, and I tried video and it was nervous and I was scared. Yeah. And then you didn't have an outcome in mind. You need to have an outcome, because video can help you attain that outcome. And if you create a short video and you send it to someone and it increases the chances of the outcome that you desire, you'll get over the fact that you're still nervous on camera. You'll get over the fact of the way that you sound, because you're getting the results that, you know, that you're looking for. One of the very specific tips I can give, and this is my favorite one, if you have anxiety, which a lot of people do, the part of your brain that's responsible for anxiety is the same part of your brain that's responsible for gratitude, and you can't feel both at the same time. And so wow. If you think about the things that you're grateful for, or something happy, for 20 seconds before you send your video. And this is video email, or video through Facebook, or video through text messaging, just not with BombBomb. Any type of video one-to-one communication, video for communicative purposes, not necessarily for marketing purposes, but this can be used for your scripted marketing videos as well. But if you think about something that makes you happy for 20 seconds, close your eyes, really get into it, think about that happiness, you'll notice your anxiety will fade away a bit. And when you click record on that video, the smile that you'll have on your face will be much more genuine. And that is a more powerful weapon than the actual words that you say. Your smile is your weapon. Did
you just give me an acting lesson? It's like, listen, if you wanna be happy, Nick, listen, I need more feeling, more emotion from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that this taking me back to because I have a background in musical theater. So being on camera and on stage is like, you know, second nature to me. Yeah. Like, I don't get nervous, right? But that's a very good tip, because when you're in acting class, you know, to get you to cry, they tell you to think of sad stuff. Right. And you get excited, they tell you to think of happy stuff. So that is true. Think of some happy things. And by the way, for people that don't know what to say, I discovered a really great app that actually works really well in conjunction with BombBomb, and it's called Big View, BIGVU, and it's essentially a teleprompter app on your cell phone. And so you just type in what you want to say, and when you hold it up, the words scroll up, and then you're not fumbling over your words, and it works really well and feels natural. So let me provide also an alternative to that. Well, actually, you can use that. Let me provide another way to use what you just said, and then a slight alternative if you're not an appy type person. Yeah. So, and I just want to make this clear before we go over the strategy here for remembering what you have to say and to make it sound authentic.
there's two styles of video. You have relationships through video and marketing through video. The marketing through video is like the high-end lights, the green screens, the drones, the digital SLR cameras. The videos that Nick and I are talking about today are the videos designed for one-to-one purposes, to convert that lead, to reach out to a past client, to get face-to-face with someone and remind them why they know you, like you, and trust you, to deliver bad news, which is one of the top 10 times, which we could talk about that later. One of the best times. And so they're simple one-to-one videos. They can be raw, organic, recorded from your phone or your laptop or your desktop. Now, if you're still nervous to do these one-to-one videos, which are easier because they're more voicemail-like, you don't get nervous to leave a voicemail. The only difference is you're on camera. Right. Here's what you do. If you don't have that app, or even if you do have that app, I'll give you the strategy. You write down the 3 bullet points on a piece of paper. So whatever each bullet point is of whatever you wanted to talk about. And in the beginning of your video, so I would reach out and I would say, hey, Nick, thank you so much for visiting my website. I have 3 points here for you today. Number 1, I know that not everyone is ready to buy a home today. And whether you're 2 months out or 2 years out, I have great information that can help you no matter what stage that you're on. Number 2, now I'll go out of that little act there. Yeah. What this does is by holding up the 3 bullet points, it gives you permission to look down and away. And if you don't do it, what ends up happening is you're looking down and away and you're talking like this, and now you're not building the rapport and the trust. But the second you show them that you have 3 bullet points, which they're not going to care that you have it, then when you look down, they know what you're doing. They know that you're referencing those bullet points. Now, bullet points also, speaking to your app here, bullet points allow you to deliver a message that is imperfect. And your imperfection is your perfection. The mistakes that you make are what will draw people closer to you. The ums and the ahs and the things my mistakes that I'm making in this webinar right here is normal. These are the mistakes you make in face-to-face communication. If you have a polished video, you don't want mistakes. If you have a one-to-one video, mistakes are welcomed. A pause or laughing at yourself can make you more likable in that video, or stopping to think about what you want to say is okay too. And so there's a difference.
No, that's great. And it also gives that impression, more of an impression that you have prepared for them, right? So like, you write these things down on paper, you're being transparent about the fact that you have the paper because you want to make sure that you give them all the information the way it was meant to be given to them. That's a really good tactic. And it can also help ease a lot of the nerves that come along with trying to be prepared and trying to remember what you want to say.
My memory is horrible. I'm not I need bullet points. I do this all the time. That's so.
Hey, somebody has a question. Can they use the anxiety and gratitude line with their significant other? You think that would work?
Are you trying to teach them that? Because probably not, depending on the timing. But yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so being uncomfortable on camera. So thinking of something happy before you go live will get your energy up. What are a couple other things that you can do to kind of ease your nerves a little bit?
I'll give you 2 quick ones too, because I know people like quick, valuable items. So
do it now.
One is I learned this from Chris Kwan when I was out visiting Tom Ferry and the Tom Ferry show. He was listening to the show and I walked over and he was like, I was nervous to be on camera. So all I did was take my camera and I set it up on a little tripod at my desk and I hit the record button while I was working. Like not even recording videos. He's like, it just got me used to the camera being pointed at me and on and recording. He's like, and then I eventually just didn't care that it was there anymore and on. And he wasn't sending those videos out. He was just getting used to the camera being there, which is part of the battle, right? So there's one, and that worked for him. The other one is take a photo, and this kind of goes with the gratitude a bit, but it helps remind you. Just take a photo of someone that you love. You could have your wife right up there, Nick, and then right next to the camera, and then you're looking at somebody when you're delivering the message, which works on the subconscious part of your mind to deliver that message in a softer, more empathetic, and kinder way for most relationships.
Very good advice. So don't picture anyone naked. Like an audience, like they say when you're up on stage, you're nervous, picture everyone naked and you'll feel better.
Yeah, you don't want to have like creepy eyes or anything. Like,
no, you don't want that. Hey, before we get into the next stuff I want to talk about in your book, I want to bring on a special guest for you right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. So listen, guys, Steve doesn't know who I'm bringing on, right? And you guys might not know who this guy is, but I know him really well. And he actually spoke at the Bomb Bomb event recently, and he's one of your early adapters, and he uses Bomb Bomb at a really high level, and he's built his business on it immensely. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. It's Andy Alger. Andy, hold on a second. I got to unmute you. There you are, buddy. Andy Alger. Andy Alger. I know Andy personally because Andy works at the Keller Williams in Grand Blanc, Michigan, which is about 20 miles north of me. And Andy and I have become are we friends, Andy? I
think so. I think so.
I didn't want to assume that you were my friend.
We're friends.
But the reason I brought Andy on, for everyone who's listening, I opened this book and I'm like, holy shit, the very first chapter is all about Andy.
That's what I said too.
the whole first chapter of Steve's book is about.
This is my favorite book ever.
Yeah, it's all about. And so Andy has sent over 4,000 videos through Bomb Bomb. But Andy, tell your story and tell us how you got started with video email and what it's done for your business.
Yeah, it's about 5 years ago, and I kind of first heard about video email at a conference, and so I thought, well, that's kind of a neat idea. So I just started with actually a different company who's no longer in the business for good reason, and quickly got to Bomb Bomb. They own the space. I mean, they're just fantastic. And I tell you what, I started using it, and what I saw was the response from my clients. I mean, listen, this is a business. If you're in real estate specifically, but probably any business where you're making money, you have to watch out for the shiny object syndrome, right? You are going to have people trying to sell you crap all the time that is going to make your business fantastic. And the reality is most of it doesn't. But so I don't do a lot of shiny object stuff. But when I got a hold of video email, the response that I saw from my clients, because I really leaned into the one-to-one videos. I do the mass, for marketing videos kind of thing, but most of what I do is the one-to-one. And when I got the response from my clients, it was just a no-brainer at that point. And I, quite frankly, loved to communicate with them in that way. And they loved to, they loved it too. So it's been fantastic.
So tell me what type of stuff you're putting out there. I mean, I've seen your videos on Facebook, and they're really natural.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. They're simple, right?
Yeah.
You gotta be over the top. So what type of stuff are you sending to your clients?
Yeah, the first question I always asked was, what's going to make somebody want to open one of my videos? And I kind of thought about, if my financial planner every month sent me a video that was just about their company and about the market in America, I would open one of those, and I probably would not open another one. But if my financial planner sent me a video once a month about my funds, how my funds are producing and performing, and maybe some recommendations that he'd make, I would watch those videos every time. And so as a realtor, I thought, what do my clients want? People always ask when I'm out at parties or out in the public, is how's the market? So what they really want to know is, what's the market in their neighborhood, right? What's going on with their home is what they're really asking. So I just very simply, I know the market, and I will simply do a video to, Bob and Sally or whoever, and let them know what homes like theirs in their area are doing, right now compared to this time last year. And go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, and I say many of them aren't thinking about selling right now, but it's information that they care about. And so on top of that, obviously I'll do other things. If there's a birthday, I tell you what I started to learn is that, talk about, relationship, is I started to get feedback from my clients that their kids loved watching the videos. And
is that Uncle Andy?
What's that?
Is it like, it's Uncle Andy again?
Yeah. And so I started putting their kids' names in the videos.
Oh, okay.
And so now they just, now the parents, and it becomes this kind of thing, and
Like, come on, kid, Andy mentioned you.
they do it. They get a kick out of it.
They're
And,
all around the phone. They're all the whole family's around the phone.
right. So it's kind of sad, really. So anyway, it's just been that's what I do. A very simple market update. For the most part, that's what I do one-to-one.
By the way, can I say that when people hear the word prospecting, they think it's a 4-letter word. They're like, oh, I never make cold calls. You could essentially sit down for 3 hours a day or every other day or whatever and send 15 to 20 personalized video emails like that, telling your sphere and your past clients what the market is doing in their area and just saying hello. That's prospecting.
Hey, Nick, can I just gave a webinar and actually have the video example here handy from the webinar I gave a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Of exactly what you just said and, okay. a strategy. You mind if I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
So this here, this is Jimmy Burgess. Oh, we'll get it going. There we go. So this is that exact strategy. So this is Jimmy Burgess, and he decided to do over 90 days, one a day, unsolicited CMAs, one person a day. He generated $11 million in listings over those 90 days with just this strategy. Now, to Andy Alger's point, Andy, I am so excited that you're on here, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Me too.
Steve, I knew you would love it, dude.
Yeah, so thank you. And thanks for thinking of that, Nick, because Andy is an OG. I've used Andy's videos for the past 4.5 years. I've been at BombBomb, and so he's like a BombBomb celebrity in our office. But getting back to the strategy and what Andy does too, and Andy does it with note cards like we were talking about before, Nick, but Jimmy did it with Google Earth. Oh yeah, there it is. The famous note card.
Well, okay.
So Jimmy did it one person a day with Google Earth, and he took 5 minutes to do just a little bit of research, MLS, and I'll play the video here. You can watch the beginning of it. And Andy said it's important to stand out, provide value. Why should they play your video? If you're asking yourself, why didn't they play my video? You're asking yourself the wrong question. You should be asking yourself, why should they play my video? You're doing it before the video is sent. You give it a future orientation, and you entrench yourself with empathy for the customer and why they should do something. So it's a different mindset. So Jimmy's like, why should they play my video? Well, they're going to play my video because this is their, I was about to curse. This is their darn house.
Right.
This is their darn house right here. If you received a video in email or text message and your house was in a Google aerial view, are you clicking play on that video?
For sure.
For sure. So watch this.
Hey, Kerry, it's Jimmy Burgess. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to give you an update on what's been going on at Adagio. We've had some changes there. So let me just kind of pull this in here and kind of get you to a place where you can really kind of see a little better exactly what we're looking at as far as in Adagio right now. One of the things, I'm pretty sure you know this, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G, as far as the building numbers. And so what I want to do is I want to come in here and talk specifically about some of these that have sold recently in the last year to give you an update on your value to get you a better feel for where we are. So what I did is I just kind of broke down, obviously,
and I'll stop it here. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but that's his lead and foot. That's the attention grabbing element. He's providing value. They were all unsolicited. And if you have 5 minutes a day, that is a strategy that will work for you. And he did it through the BombBomb screen recorder.
Yeah, I noticed that BombBomb has a screen recorder now. I love it. And so this guy, you said he generated $11 million in listings just from doing one video a day for 90 days.
90 days, yeah.
That is amazing. And I love that because I've never been big on cold calling. I'm always a warm caller type of guy. My business has always been more than 50% repeat and referral. And so just sit down once a day, you don't even have to do it for 3 hours in a row. Just like you said, do one a day for 90 days. Something is bound to come from it, either a direct sale or a referral from someone who wants to buy or sell.
Yep.
It's bound to happen.
Yep.
And again, the beauty of that too is I can go into my office at 7:30 in the morning, and I, because it's convenient for me at that time. You know, once the day gets going, let's face it, it's hard to sometimes sit down and knock these things out because now all these fires are burning. So I can get in at 7:30 and spend an hour and a half just doing these things, and then quite frankly, my clients can open it up whenever the heck they want to. It's a win-win.
There was a really fun one that Andy did that I shared into Lab Coats, and I don't know why. I just loved it. He had these note cards. He's like, I'm going to show you what the neighborhood's doing. And he just held up numbers,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And it was like, hey, in Clarkston, you guys are doing pretty good. You're up 10%. And then in Pontiac, oh, you know, you guys, I don't know, not doing so good, guys. You might want to, work on that. It was a number of how many, what the percentage was up or down in the neighborhood. And I was just, I commented when I shared it into Lab Coats, I go, I even watched the entire thing because like that never happens, right? Like I think it was like a 2-minute video or 3-minute video. I watched the entire thing and to watch a 3-minute video in its entirety today is unheard of.
It is. I'm sorry. It was actually 3 minutes. I try to never go over a minute if I can help it. So,
but I loved it. And I love what Andy's doing, and I just wanted to bring him on and give a little insight into his business because after all, there's an entire chapter, and it's the first chapter. Steve, what do I need to have a whole chapter in your next book? Like, what do I need to do?
I don't know. You got to put it in years of thousands of videos, and because that's
okay, cool. Now I know.
Yeah.
4,000 videos is where I need to be. Gotcha. I'm working on it.
Well, just to button up this segment, if this was a segment here.
Yes, it's a segment.
Yeah. So the attention is the currency of business. Attention is what every business is looking for. If you don't have attention, you have no business. And what Andy just described and what you just described watching Andy's video is Andy captured your attention. Mr. Burgess captured 90 people's attention. It's all about attention. And do you think the words on the screen are going to gather attention? Or do you think a unique and interesting way to present yourself or connect with the audience is going to, or connect with an individual is going to get you that attention? That's what it comes down to, because video isn't the solution. You are the solution. Video is just the method to get you there.
For sure. I love it. Andy, any parting words, any words of wisdom for anyone who just is afraid to start doing this and maybe doesn't see the value or hasn't pulled the trigger?
I love what Steve said earlier, that really your imperfection is your perfection. And I think if you just lean into that and own that, I do not ever watch my videos before I send them. I do not hardly ever re-record a video unless I totally like use the wrong name or something or whatever. But so just, I think lighten up a little bit, relax, just go with it, be who you are, because that's what they want anyway. So just you be you.
So basically what I took away from that is before you send a video, make sure you have the person's name right.
Yep.
Got it. Perfect. Great words.
That's all you got to do. Everything else, you're covered.
You know, so Michael Parker, VP of Product, just sent a video to someone, and they were inquiring about hundreds of BombBomb licenses. And he sent a video, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, ABC Realty, we love you guys. You guys are doing so well. ABC Realty, ABC Realty, ABC Realty. And he sent it, and he realized that it was XY. I don't want to give the names. He realized it was XYZ Realty. After he said the incorrect name the entire video, and he was like, I was sitting there sweating bullets. So he sent a follow-up video, and it had he had a whiteboard, which I don't know where, oh, here it is. He had a whiteboard there, and he drew like a picture and a frowny face, and like, my bad. It was like this really interactive whiteboard. So when they open up the video, they would see that. And he was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And the person responded, and they were like, LOL, all in caps. They were like, no, that was hilarious. You know, that was so funny in your follow-up video. It made Michael, a VP of Product, real, that he's a real person, and he used the wrong name the whole entire time.
That was good. You know, I love that because, you know, Tristan and I talk a lot about automation, but sometimes it's just, it really makes a big difference. That's like a huge screw up, right? I mean, you've even got automated text messages and artificial intelligence pretending to screw up. Yeah. So it's human. Like, this was a legitimate screw up and totally saved it. I thought that's hysterical. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Andy, awesome. Thanks for being here. I know you got to record another 1,000 videos today to be.
Sure do. Hey, Steve, great seeing you again. Great seeing you in Denver too, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good seeing you as well. Thanks, Andy.
Later, dude.
Thanks. See you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to remove you, so you're going to have – there we go. Okay. Cool. So Andy's awesome, and I'm glad that I was able to bring him on. So I want to go into chapter 6 in the book, which was one of my favorite chapters, the 10 times you should use video instead of plain text. And actually, we covered number 1, cold calling or prospecting. Right?
Yeah.
So expires, FISBOs, what are some tips you have for that?
Yeah, that's a response to a new lead coming in. Number 2, if I remember correctly.
Number 1 is cold calling and FISBOs. Number 2 is nurturing unresponsive.
Unresponsive. So it's like reaching out to that group, and that's sort of like what Jimmy was doing there. So obviously, the times to use video, these are, you need to know the triggers throughout your day where video is going to be more effective, and it's important. And those 10 things are the triggers. If you need to build rapport or trust, or if someone is emotional, positive or negative emotion, those are all the times to use video. One of my favorite and probably the best time to use video is delivering bad news. And there's a psychological reason behind that, which I think.
What type of bad news? Like your offer wasn't accepted or something like that?
Anything. You messed up, your offer's not accepted, depending on how you think they're going to, how hard they're going to take that news. So any type of bad news, because here's why. Bad news is more psychologically compelling than good news. So it's been studied. Your brain takes longer to process bad news. Have you ever given someone bad news, Nick, and they sat there in silence and they didn't know what to say?
Yep.
Now, have you ever given anyone bad news and they flipped off the handle? Like they were like, oh my God. And so both, because they don't have time to process, you go one way or the other, right? You get angry. People need time to think about the bad news. It's scientifically proven. So do you want to be on the phone with someone to deliver bad news? No, because you're going to expect a response immediately. Do you want to deliver bad news face to face? Is this effective? Well, yeah, because you can have empathy and they can see your face and you can deliver it with empathy. But again, if you're expecting an answer, not so good. Video shines right here because you deliver the bad news. They see your face, they hear your voice, you deliver it with empathy, you show that you care, and then you say, I'm in a meeting right now, but I'm going to give you a call, or I'm going to swing by your house and meet up here in a couple of hours, and we can talk about next steps. What that does is you will have an infinitely better conversation with that person in 3 hours after they processed your recommendations and had a chance to think about your recommendations rationally. And it is a fantastic time to use video.
So the next time my wife tells me to do the dishes and I forgot, should I send her a video email first so when I get home she's not as mad?
No, I'm noticing a common theme with a lot of your questions here.
These are really good tips for dealing with relationship problems too.
Yeah, it might work if you had a good reason why, and it is somewhat legit, and you send it over, and then when you meet up, you have your path forward on how you're going to rectify that situation. Then yeah. But
I do love that idea, right? So like so many times, maybe your seller's house is in contract and the buyer couldn't get a mortgage, or home inspection killed the deal, or whatever. Even if you're not actually too busy to call that person or to show up at their house, it does give them time to process it. So when you get over there or you call them, they are thinking more rationally. So that's actually a really good tip. I love that tip. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Great to meet you. I'm a team leader at KW, so I talk to a lot of agents and a lot of different brokerages on a regular basis. And every time I have a meeting with an agent, I send them a video email or a video text saying it's great to meet them. And that's a huge second, further connection that I'm making with them, because chances are no one else is really doing that. Another one of gratitude. Yeah, for sure. Holidays and special occasions is a great time to send a video email. You just said number 6 is bad news or apology. checking in on someone, just kind of seeing how they're doing. Like, who was the guy you just showed the video of?
Jimmy Burgess.
That was essentially just a check-in, you know?
Yeah. It was a check-in with value.
Right. Exactly.
Like Andy said, right? So the gratitude one too, it doesn't seem like that's a super powerful one, but this one is for you or me and the recipient, because I like to call this one, this is the kid one, because a lot of times in the morning when you have kids like we do, the mornings don't go the way that you think they're going to go.
No, you're kidding.
And it's hard to get your kids out the door and onto the school bus and the crying and everything else. And so you start your morning off and you're like, oh my God, and you get in and you're full of anxiety and the day didn't start right. And sending the same thing with that positive mindset, sending 3 videos of gratitude to people that have helped you and or your business. It could be a client, but it could be a fellow colleague, employee at the company, et cetera, or just a family member. Send 3 videos or 2 videos and express that gratitude, push that anxiety out. You're going to make yourself feel better. You're going to start your day off right. And then the responses that you get will floor you. They will blow you away if you spend time on other people and give them your time.
That's so good, man. I love that. Another one of my favorite chapters is, and this is something that a lot of us struggle with, right? Getting more opens, getting people to play it, getting people to reply.
Yeah.
And I do notice when I send like 100 videos out or 400 videos out, in a mass kind of message, right, to my agents, I do notice it's just open with BombBomb, right? It's just crazy amount of opens, right? Yeah. What is it about just the email itself without even the plays that just gets the instant massive, like I'm seeing like 30 to 40% open rates, right? Which is, I think the industry average is like 12. What is it about just the email itself sent from BombBomb that's just like massive open rates? Like I'm trying to figure that out.
Part of that is you, Nick, and I'm not trying to just
Steve,
butter you up or anything.
It's okay, it's fine. I totally.
So we don't use SendGrid. Most email products out there use third-party email service to send out the emails. We have our own, and what we do is we lump people that have quality lists together with other people that have quality engaged lists, and so we have special algorithms that sort people around and keep people with their fellow peeps, of quality. And this is true. This is due to your list. You are most likely lumped together with other people that are doing email proud, and you will continue to reap those benefits by being on the up and up.
Oh, that's super interesting. Okay, I got you.
That's the short answer. There's a super techie answer
it probably has to. Oh, I want the super techie answer. Let's go. No, I think it probably has to do with how many people are unsubscribing, right? If you have a lower unsubscribe rate, I would assume that has something to do with it too.
Spam. So if people are hitting the spam button, everything is being tracked. Gmail is tracking it separately. People that are unsubscribing, all of those things, come into play. Even your open rate, because Gmail knows how many people are of their customers are opening emails
for sure
from a particular sender. And so, we lump people together. That's one of the reasons outside of the video. But we could just use this webinar. I literally just gave this webinar with these new examples. And so if you want to see some sweet animated GIFs to get your videos played, we can share some of those examples.
Hey, you want to do that?
Yeah. So if you have a good quality list, your emails will get open. Your next step here is to get your video played, because that's your opportunity to get face-to-face.
Yeah, because the next thing I was going to ask you is, how do you get more plays, right?
Yep. And so again, there's 2 things. You need to provide value to someone. It needs to be personal. And if you're not doing either one of those, you better damn well be entertaining. And so we need to focus on the curiosity gap. The curiosity gap is what someone feels when they don't know something. And so these are 2 fantastic examples. So if you're using BombBomb, you have an animated preview. If you're using something else out there, you're trying to hack together a manual solution, you'd have a still thumbnail, but you can still do this strategy. And you can see here that, I think it's my man, Tony. Tony has Manish, yikes. Oh my God. What do I need to know about this video? Like if you were Manish, you need to click play because there's no way you're going to see that and not click the play button.
I got to click it.
And the key is he actually had a yikes moment. You just don't want to say yikes to everybody and not really have a yikes moment because now you're faking people out and every video you send trains them on whether or not they should open your next video.
Sure.
But that's a great example. Like if you don't have a yikes, you know, I do this all the time. I'll put like, you're awesome, David, or thank you, David. And like, if you send a video to someone that says, you're awesome, David, find out why, click the video. Oh, I don't need to know why I'm awesome today. Like,
listen, I've been told I know someone, like 5 people told me why already.
Yeah, I know all the reasons.
Yeah.
The other one here, this one's not real estate, but I love this one here on the right because this was a cold outreach to a company, but real estate agents can use the same thought process. Cold outreach, never talked to this person before. Looked them up on LinkedIn, found out they like coffees around the world, and that little logo is the company that they work for.
Oh.
So Omar, that person, was sending a video email to Omri and drew the coffee cup, drew the logo, sent that out, got an instant response and said, now you have my attention, let's book an appointment for next week.
That's awesome.
So it's curiosity gap. It's thinking about what we said before, not why didn't they play my video, why should they play my video? Both of these people thought about why should they play my video.
So great ways to get people to click and open and play your video. The more personal, the better. You know, have a GIF. Well, because what BombBomb does is turns your first few seconds into a GIF. So make sure those first few seconds are eye-catching and they are personal, right?
Yeah.
And what I love today is I've sent a video email to somebody and they video email replied to me back.
Yeah.
It was super fun. That doesn't happen as often as I would like, but it did happen and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you can just be so creative with this type of stuff and people just really, really appreciate it.
It's movement too, Nick. Like you mentioned, like eye-catching. If I were to start my video like this and then pop into frame, you're like, if you just did that on a mass video email, that would get more plays because you don't have to have a name on there if you're doing a mass video and you did something crazy like that. Or Justin and Danny, 2 of our sales reps, they always start their videos like this and they go, and so it's like, you can't not play that.
Right.
And they're always like singing or like dancing or whatever. And that might not be your style. And if that's not your style, don't do it because it'll come across. But yeah, just ideas.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Steve, we're running out of time. I just want to make sure that there was anything you wanted to add at the end. And I also want to let everybody know, rehumanize your business, how personal videos accelerate sales and improve customer experience by Steve and Ethan from BombBomb. It's a fantastic book. I posted the link at the top of the video, so make sure you go ahead and publish it. Go ahead and buy it because it's being published for its second printing, which means it's really good. They don't just print books if people don't buy them. So this is a good one. And there's a lot of really amazing tips in here, cool images to help you understand more of what you could be doing. And even like I love in chapter 10 where it talks about your background. Like I need to work on my background, but your background, yeah, and your background is even pictured in the book about how that can even come across to tell your story, like what type of stuff you're into. Like like I have superhero pictures over here on my wall, and so I shoot a lot. Here, I'll show you. So I shoot a lot of videos. You see. Yep. So I shoot a lot of videos in front of my Justice League, and I always get people replying back saying, I love your Justice League photos. So it's really important what's behind you can start a conversation. So I love that little tidbit in the book too.
Yeah. So, I mean, to part 2 things, you're better in person. We believe in you. It's not about video. It's about getting you in front of more people more often. And then the other thing is people always ask, why in the world did you write a book about video?
Yeah, why'd you write? Why is there? Yeah, you're talking about email, video, and you're writing a book about it.
So I always want to explain. It is the best method for consuming content. We believe in the right method for consuming the right content. So it wasn't just about the book. It was about providing a reference guide that someone could, just like you did there, you opened to chapter 10 and you went to the background, and you could find that quickly and easily without scrubbing through hours of video. But what you also got was a website with every single video that's mentioned in the book, so you could watch every single video, the downloads, the guides. The book is half of the story. The other half are the digital assets, and they go hand in hand. So now you have the reference guide and you have the interactive experience, and that's the way we thought about it from the beginning. So we're not just weird people that write books about video and not do video about video. You get the whole thing, and you get it all, especially on sale right now at Amazon for $16. You get every.
I saw that.
$16.
I saw that, dude. So it's kind of like there's two parts to the book. One is obviously in print, and then you can take it to another level and go online and watch some of the video examples and get specific guides and so on and so forth, which is really awesome. So you're utilizing technology with good old-fashioned paper. So good stuff. Steve, this was awesome. I had a really great time. I'm glad we brought Andy in. He added a lot of value. I love that guy. It's super fun to mastermind with him. And I'm glad that I'm just 20 minutes south of him because we get to talk about that stuff. But thanks for joining us, man. I'm glad the book's doing well, and I'm happy that you were on here with me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the care and the time to think of thoughtful questions and the preparation that you put into it, especially with Andy. It shows that you did care, and I appreciate that, and it means a lot. So.
Yeah, no problem, dude. You've been super supportive of Lab Coats, and we can only do the same back to you.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, man. Have a good day.
All right, see ya.